I can
Can
move
you
that
just
over.
shift that way, Jim?
All right. This way?
Yep.
Me
A little bit
too.
more.
A little bit more?
Yep. A little bit more. I'm trying to get your shoulder out of the cross.
Okay.
Now get your shoulder out across.
All right. Hold on.
Here, take your phallic symbol.
How's that?
That's better. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Testing, testing. Okay. All right. We're ready. Hey, everybody in YouTube. Welcome to the watch.
Hey, YouTube.
And 2, 1. And welcome to the watch with our founder, creator, and noble one, Eric Woodson, and his sidekick, Joe.
Hey, sidekick.
Hope everybody's
Dr.
doing
Joe.
okay. That's it. Everybody's having a great day. What is today? The 8th of November.
Yeah.
The 8th of November. That's right. In Columbus, Georgia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And here we are. And we got a lot. Hey, we got a lot to talk about.
And we are live on the watch.
Yes. By the way, Charlie, if you are watching, I had a mediation today, and I wasn't here. So sorry, I forgot about that message, but I'll call you later. That's one of our mayoral candidates, Charlie Roberts. He's going to be on the show next. He's going to come by the show next week.
Okay, coming by.
And,
Well, he could always call in today if he's out there.
If you're out there right now, Charlie, if you hear us, go ahead. We are here at 706-940-0541, or anybody that wants to call in, 940-0541, area code 706. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, I guess big news. Well, we had another murder last night.
Oh, there's been a lot more than just, there was the murder like 8 o'clock last night, Manchester, just off of, Manchester Expressway,
Yep.
17th Avenue or 17th Street, I'm not sure which.
17th Street, I believe it is.
Yeah, anyway. And, there was a murder in Phoenix City that's pretty much gone, maybe got 3 lines in the media.
What was that?
Lady shot in the head on South Railroad Street, and it gets like 3 lines, and that's it.
What was the deal? There was something in there. I was trying to figure it out where, like, the Columbus Police Department got called by Phoenix City, or the Phoenix City got called by Columbus, and then what was that?
There was, this was early in the morning, and I was only probably on my first cup of coffee, and there was something about a stolen vehicle. I guess it was a stolen vehicle, maybe out of Columbus, and somehow Phoenix City was out in, I still don't know. They said Phoenix City reported it to Columbus, but it was reported at a Lee County location that's really not in Phoenix City's jurisdiction. So I don't know if they were out there serving papers or they happened to follow it out of Phoenix City into Lee County, and then Lee County got involved in it or whatever. But
yeah, that's crazy.
There's been a lot of stuff going on, and
Hey, Wanda, Tommy, how you doing?
The interesting thing is, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but the mayor of Columbus, the Queen Mayor, has been awfully tight-lipped about anything about crime or policing or anything of that nature. Now, I don't know if that's just she's learned her lesson that every time she said something silly, it's come back and bit her in the butt, or if she's just spending too much time up in Atlanta, trying to look for votes for the next election she's running in. I don't know. I do know that I have not seen one comment about anything, so it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of interested, to see what other people kind of think about that. But it really is. And but I'm interested today, and hopefully, our call-in number is
706-940-0541.
Yeah.
Pat, would you push that
What I've been seeing people here in the local area, on a number of pages, and they're coming to the same conclusion that a lot of people have had for 2 or 3 years now, and they're like, what is going on in the area? Last night alone, person murdered on either side of the river, and I bet let's see. Well, I guess you can't really say it was real close together, but as the crow flies, if you drew a straight line from where one murder took place to the other one, it wouldn't be too far apart. And the reason I bring that up is because we've always said that river is not there's a state line there and there's a boundary line there. You know, the river's there as a boundary, a natural boundary, but that's not stopping anything. And over the last couple of days, you know, we've heard the post about the gold Crown Vic, which apparently was chased and abandoned somewhere in Columbus. I think Columbus now has that vehicle in the inventory. There's some white SUV that was spotted. These two vehicles were spotted over Alabama in the area over there, canvassing homes and looking for, you know, just
getting a US 280 is now on Lee Road 379 at Smith Station. It's blocked off following accident. That's USA 280 on Lee Road 379 at Smith Station. Is now blocked
379 is where the flea market is. So there must be a nice little wreck there at the intersection of Lee Road 379 and 28431 going towards Opelika. And we might have some more on that.
As we get it.
But
one thing we're trying to do is provide information as fast and as accurately as possible on what's going on in the Chattahoochee Valley.
Well, the thing I was talking about was that I want to hear what people think about it. I mean, I really like to hear what people think about what the crime situation is. Do you think it's business as normal? It's just normal? Is it worse than it was 10 years ago? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? And I'm starting to see more and more people wake up and say, it's not getting better. Okay, we're not buying into these statistics and stuff. Things are getting worse. And, you know, I'm not trying to be, you know, the Chicken Little of the area, but, you know, I think there is a little bit of the sky kind of falling here. And I've seen posts this week where someone talked about their, one of their kids went outside to get something out of the car, and he was basically accosted by some drunk wanting money. And then the drunk or whatever followed them back into their residence, came into the residence to ask one of the adults for money. And I'm like, I know it's not normal for down here because it's not normal for where I'm from, okay, up in Virginia. But you walk into somebody's house without knocking or uninvited, and that's a good excuse to get, you know, one, I'll just say that, shot. One barrel or two barrels, you know, of double-eyed buck. You just don't do it. And let's see, I'm trying to remember where that was. It was in Columbus. I want to say it was somewhere around Forest Road or somewhere over in that area. There was another post where a man was down on Manchester, and it just happens to be in the same area where this man was murdered last night, in the same general area. Veterans in Manchester, and he was coming down towards an intersection or towards the light. A guy stepped out way out in front of him like he was crossing the road, and then as he got closer to him in his car, the man turned and started walking directly at the front of his car with his hand in his pocket like he had something in there. And the man said, you know, he got such a weird feeling that he hit the brakes. The guy kept coming at him, was not trying to cross the road anymore, was coming right at him, looking right at him, eye to eye contact. And the man said, I threw it into reverse and burned rubber going backwards as far as I could. And until the guy saw that, you know, he was not going to close the distance. And he said, you know, I got the feeling that this guy was trying to rob me, you know. And then, lo and behold, right in this area where this guy's talking about this, and this has been discussed by several, you know, lots of comments on this, in that same general area, you know, a little bit farther up from the intersection of Veterans and Manchester, and just off of Manchester, this man was shot in the head last night around 8 o'clock and left for dead, you know, and everybody's, you know, talking about the fact that apparently this man that was shot was wanted in connection to another murder that took place of a young lady in Columbus. And so people are basically saying, oh, this is revenge, or this is payback, or this is just street justice. Okay, I'm not going to argue.
By the way, welcome, Marshall, great country.
I'm not going to argue all that's kind of, you know, the small, finer points of this. I will ask the people that seem to be okay with this murder, whether he deserved it or not. Will it be okay when some of these gangsters, gangbangers, have it out somewhere like Peachtree Mall or Bojangles or somewhere else, and one of your relatives takes a bullet in the head or takes one in the chest Or
Eric,
you?
Eric, let me interrupt for just a second. We have mayoral candidate Charlie Roberts is watching. Charlie, if you could give us a call now, 706-940-0541, 706-940-0541. He was going to call in earlier today, and we had to move the show, and I was able to get in touch with him. And also Marshall Countryman, if you'd like to call in, 706-940-0541. But Charlie Roberts is one of our mayoral candidates, and he has some definite opinions on crime on that. And we'd like
Love to hear him. I'm sure the people would love to hear him.
So if you're watching, sir, please give us a call, 706-940-0541. And Marshall Countryman, if you're watching, give us a call. Or anybody out there. What do y'all think? I mean, that's what we're being told. We're being told that this is, I think, one of the statements is that this is a normal trend. That this is business as usual, the amount of murders and crime rate.
We've been told in the past that
the
numbers aren't that bad. The statistics are about what they were in 2008, 2009, you know. And I just don't think people are buying into that anymore, okay? I do not think, and comparing Columbus to some other town is just ridiculous, okay? It makes no sense to compare Columbus to Chicago because Chicago's like, what, 50 times bigger?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't care what it's like in Augusta or Macon. I don't live in Augusta or Macon. I don't go there to shop. I don't send my kids there to go to school or anything like that. You know, I don't play golf in Augusta. I'm not that good. Plus, I think golf's a ridiculous game anyway. But I'd rather shoot golf balls than hit them. Or actually, I think hunting golfers on the golf course would be a whole lot more fun. But anyway, that's here nor there. What I'm saying is comparing Columbus to another city and saying, hey, it's not so bad. You know, they got it worse over here. Well, we don't care what it's like over there on the other side of the fence. We care what it's like here. And we should be able to, you know, parents now are worried about, you know, when their kids go out at night, are they coming home? You know, if they go down to Broadway or something. You just had that lady a couple weeks ago, she was trying to get her car out of the parking deck and ended up getting stabbed. And one of the media people said they wrote the story up as, oh, it wasn't that serious. It wasn't that serious this lady got stabbed. Are you kidding me? It took stitches to close this lady up. She had to have stitches because she was stabbed. Okay? To me, anytime you get stabbed, it's serious. All right? So we got a caller. I'm gonna back it down a little bit.
Yeah, I think we have mayoral candidate Charlie Roberts, I believe. Hold on, we're trying. Miss Pat is trying. Charlie, if we hang up on you, call us right back. Are we there? Okay, I think we got him. Hold on here.
I have not heard anyone talk yet.
Hello, Charlie. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I am here.
Okay, Charlie Roberts. Try it again. Hey, Charlie Roberts. Charlie?
I'm here.
Okay, welcome. This is mayoral candidate for the mayor of the city of Columbus, Charlie Roberts. Welcome to our show, sir.
I'm trying to say this is breaking up pretty bad. Let me walk back inside where it's a little bit quieter.
Okay, we're hearing you pretty good on that.
Is he hearing us when we talk?
Are you hearing us okay, Charlie?
Now I'm inside, maybe it'll be a little bit.
Okay, we can hear you. We can hear you real good. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, it's real faint, but I can hear you.
Okay, well,
are we just talking in that mic over there that she's holding?
He's talking to that mic, and what you got to do, Pat, is
hold it over this way.
Yeah, hold it over this way to us on that. So here, Charlie Roberts, candidate for mayor of the city of Columbus. Welcome to the show. Could you tell everybody about your thoughts on crime right now? Do we have a problem?
There is quite a problem. It doesn't matter what side of Columbus you're on. As evidenced by the shooting that happened in South Columbus, now the one on Stony Brook. So there is definitely a major, I don't want to say gang problem, I'm sure that's part of it. There is definitely a large crime problem that needs to be addressed.
Well, you know, Charlie, it seems like the current administration is just for the last year has been telling the people of Columbus that we don't have gangs, we don't have a crime problem. Matter of fact, we have crime lower now, according to them, than we did in 2013. And that's just, you know, it's just ridiculous. It's the OK Corral here. We made Atlanta news because of crime in Columbus. We were the opening story on Fox 5 in Atlanta, Georgia, about Columbus, Georgia. We had in one night, for the first time in the history of Atlanta, we had more murders in Columbus, Georgia in one night than Atlanta did.
Hey, Brittany, I saw you comment out there. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Charlie.
That tells you all you need to know there. When a major metropolis like Atlanta, we hit that kind of status, then there's probably needs to be dealt with.
Charlie, as mayor, what would you do? What is your plan? Do you have a plan?
I think the plan should be that, of course, to address the crime, you've got to have more officers. And I understand that. But the second prong of that is trying to help. In the interim, there needs to be jobs. There needs to be industry brought to Columbus that is willing to give Columbus a chance, that gives more citizens a chance. Specifically, build up the South Side with, I don't want to say urban renewal, but not the right wording. Build it up with economic development. And hand in hand with that, build up the police force that has been decimated over the last several years. And once that happens, with community involved, community policing, I don't want to use the term see something, say something, because that's so cliche, but make sure you get out, you know the people around you, that y'all build that bond up. I happen to live in a neighborhood that has done that. Everybody knows that not everybody in the neighborhood. That I know not for that big or that small.
Mr. Roberts, one question I have as a citizen of Columbus. We had a few years ago, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, we had a local option sales tax, which was passed, and our city council and mayor said that 80% of that money that was brought in would be directed directly toward to public safety. And to my knowledge, I don't know if any of that money has been. Do you have any facts or figures on that? About because by now it's going to be millions of dollars.
I think they put it in a, and I don't know the right way to say this, but what I remember seeing, they put in and then they put it in the general fund, but earmarked it for public safety and security. I'm not sure why there wouldn't be like a separate ledger account or something like that that covered all public safety, whether it be the sheriff's department, police department, marshal's department even. That way we know exactly where the money is, we know exactly what the money is going toward. It's going toward retaining the officers, it's going toward paying the officers more to stay. It's getting them the equipment they need to do their job day in, day out.
What do you think about getting some grant money to train citizens in the area on how to clean up their neighborhoods and how to work more with police, train them to be the eyes and the ears of the police, and let's take this fight back to the criminals. Let's push them out of these areas and train the citizens on how to be observe and report, how to protect their homes, how to protect their schools, their kids. What would your ideas about something like that be?
I would say if there was grant money for that, the best defense is personal defense. Because even if we had a full complement of police officers on the street, they can't be everywhere at all times. So people need to know how to defend themselves, how to take care of their family, even extend it out to their neighbors. Learn how to protect each other, become a community.
Well, I just find it strange that we can spend $700,000 to $800,000 a year on all these programs, and we can't come up with any money for citizen training. You know, and I just don't understand that.
And that is something that definitely needs to be looked at. Definitely needs to be changed. There needs to be more community involvement. Period.
I have a question, Mr. Roberts. It's my understanding from the city manager, from the city engineer, not the city manager, the city engineer, that in Columbus we have, and I'm quoting the city engineer, hundreds of surveillance cameras which are mounted all over the city that we obtained through a DOT grant. Now these are not DOT cameras. There are also some DOT cameras, but these were DOT. It was a DOT grant, and these cameras were to be used for however we want to use them. And that in fact these cameras are mounted all over the city. You can see them at many, 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 many intersections. And that in fact these cameras, according to the city engineer, have never been activated, have never been hooked up, because, quote, there is no staff to monitor them and no money to pay for their maintenance. Have you heard that before?
I have, and I've even seen some of the cameras that you're speaking of. But as far as not being able to staff it or anything like that, that should be ingrained into public safety somehow. What that idea may entail, I'm not totally positive, but I would think there would be a way to get them hooked up without any issue. And it works in places like Alpharetta, it works for places like Atlanta. Why can it not work for Columbus?
I think so. Absolutely.
It could be that
Welcome,
there's
Connie.
another camera that catches a crime.
Absolutely. What is your thoughts, sir, on this the building of a new government center? Is this the right time for that? Seems like we don't have any money. How are we going to build a government center?
My thoughts on that is, as old as the government center is now, I worked there for 5.5 years, so I understand it's old, it's dilapidated, but to spend the amount of money they're talking about spending to build a new complex, whether it be renovate what's there or tear it down, build a new one, I think that money would be better suited going to pay a little bit more for the employees. I don't want to say pension, a little more towards the employees' insurance premium, and helping offset costs a little bit more for the employees, because there are some, not all, but some, that ever since they increased the premiums this year and implemented the half percent cost of living adjustment, they actually bring home less. So why can we not do more for them to try to offset that cost? Because again, everybody deserves. Everybody in the city of Columbus deserves to be able to live, not necessarily comfortably, but well within their means. And for those that work for this government, it's almost like a slap in the face. Wanting understanding they need a new building, but at the current in the current economy, it's a slap in the face to employees to not be able to do something for them and build this grand building.
One other question I have for you, Mr. Roberts, is that in the last 8 years, it's very evident to many, many, many Columbusites that our relationship, the city of Columbus and Muscogee County, has, I'll just use the word, drifted away from our once vital and still vital, but very, very close relationship to Fort Benning. And that our local government rarely, if ever, participates in anything to do with Fort Benning. I could prove that if I need to, if anybody's watching that. They are always invited to every major event that goes on at Fort Benning, and rarely, I can also prove that, does even representatives of our city government travel to Fort Benning. And I'm curious about what do you think about our relationship with Fort Benning? How do you think it is right now?
Since you don't hear about it a whole lot, it seems to me in my opinion, seems to be either diminished or non-existent. Would be a good way to describe it. And with Fort Benning being such a huge part of Columbus, again, it's been here for 100 years. They started a 100-year celebration. Everybody should be willing to embrace Fort Benning, from the mayor's office all the way down to the citizens, because without installations like Fort Benning, there goes our American freedom.
Well, I think that's correct. I mean, off the top of my head, I think there's something like 40 or 45,000 civilians are employed out at Fort Benning, and some, or at least at one time, there was 40 or 45,000 civilians employed in support of training and operations out there at Fort Benning, and that's a pretty good employer. I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of people.
Go ahead, sir.
I would agree with that. That's the reason why the leadership of Columbus should embrace Fort Benning a lot more. Because the soldiers that are there, the civilians that are there, and I'm speaking more toward soldiers because they are the lifeblood of the military, obviously. But they need to know that they're appreciated. When we can, as a community, can show them that they're appreciated, the leadership can show them that they're appreciated by attending the different events that are at Fort Benning, then I think Fort Benning and Columbus become more cohesive.
Yeah.
Ms. Roberts, a very, very short time ago, we're not talking years, we're talking months, if not 6 to 8 weeks, even 6 weeks ago, the current administration made the statement, we do not have a gang problem in Columbus, Georgia. Matter of fact, they said that we have some, quote, and I'm quoting, loose associations of young people involved in criminal activity. Now we see a complete turnaround, a 180-degree turnaround, where we have our police department is coming up, and we're as pro-law enforcement as you can get. We're back to blue on this, but now the administration has come around and decided, yes, we do have a very serious gang problem here in Columbus on that. Don't you find that interesting that just, you know, what happened there? Is this communication or denial or just absurdity? What is it? What do you think happened there?
I honestly think it was a matter of
Welcome, Chad.
one thing, we don't have a gang problem by our current leadership. That was explicitly said. But the citizens of Columbus taking note of that, then, hey, wait a minute. That's not necessarily the case. You start making noise just around social media. It's always a good thing to make the move first. And that's the reason I'm running is just so that Columbus has a voice, regular citizen has a voice in their government. And I think that sort of thing, something management's mind is letting them. We better make sure our ducks are in a row.
I'm curious also, Mr. Roberts, our current administration has described the Columbus Police Department as her police department, and as the public safety director when it's been appropriate. What is your feeling on that?
It does not necessarily, just because you're mayor does not make it your police department. Yes, you are the chief public safety officer, but if you don't have any background in law enforcement, then there should be no claim in being your police department. It should be, and it never should be anybody's police department. It should be the citizens of Columbus Police Department.
Yes, sir.
That's ultimately what Columbus Police Department does, is serve and protect the citizens of Columbus.
What is your thoughts, sir, on consolidating the police department and the sheriff's department? our office. And I do want to let you know also too, and again, this is a lot of people do not realize that under constitutional law, under the Georgia Constitution, which supersedes any rule or law of the city of Columbus or municipality of Columbus, the Georgia Constitution states that the sheriff, the high sheriff, is the senior law enforcement official in the county. No city or municipality law is higher than the Georgia Constitution. The Georgia Constitution is only superseded by the United States Constitution. So what is your thought and your feeling when we consolidated in the early 1970s in the charter? It clearly stated in the charter, and we can bring that in and show it, that at some point in time, and I think it was supposed to have been within 10 years, that we were supposed to have a consolidation of law enforcement agencies with the sheriff being the senior law enforcement officer. So what is your thought about that? Do you think that's a good idea, bad idea?
Honestly, how many big cities, if I remember correctly, Columbus is probably the second largest, third largest city in Georgia.
Second largest.
How many of those big cities do you see that have a county and a municipal force? I would be all for consolidating forces, because then that gives you even more officers on the street. That gives one department then more possibly more funding can go toward that department. The training, the equipment, the better equipped officers to fight battles, so to speak, to the 21st century.
Absolutely. Because I'm wondering that I'm wondering what have we just decided? I don't know what your thoughts is. Have we decided to just throw away the original manuscript and writing when we consolidated the government of the plan? And that seems like that's just kind of what we did on that. And there are many. When Columbus consolidated at that time, there were only 3 consolidated governments: city, county, and the whole United States. We were one: Metro-Dade County, Florida, Miami, and Chicago, Cook County. There was only 3 at that time. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of them today. And I'm simply saying that we have in Muscogee County currently we have, and I could name them out, it'd take a while, but believe it or not, I think we have 26 law enforcement agencies in Columbus, Georgia. That counts federal, state, and local, not including Fort Benning. And then, of course, also, too, and one question I have, sir, for you is, what would you do as mayor to improve our relations with our brother and sister counties around us, to include Russell and Lee and the Chattahoochee Valley? Because it seems like that would help with the employment situation, with the crime situation, is have a consolidated front. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
My thoughts on that would be that as mayor, I would make it a point to maybe once a quarter, once every couple of months or so, to have just I guess you'd say a Chattahoochee Valley summit, bring together the leaders of the different areas, like what you're talking about, such as leaders from Phoenix City, Russell County, Lee County, LaGrange, Truth County, all the different areas that are not necessarily directly affiliated with Columbus, but definitely impact Columbus. And sort of like a status report kind of thing. It would be a face-to-face kind of status report. This is what we've got going on. This is what we can do to help with it. This is what we've got going on. This is the help we need, kind of thing. Because in order for any place to grow, there has to be cooperation.
All right. Well, thank you, Charlie Roberts, who is a candidate for mayor of the city of Columbus. Mr. Roberts, thank you. I think you're going to come and visit us next week. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Yes, he said that is correct, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you for calling in, Mr. Roberts.
Hey, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. And please, everybody, anyone else that wants to call in 706-940-0541. United we stand. There's a lot of people watching this. A lot of our opponents are watching this right now. and are concerned at what we're saying because Eric has dreamed up this this organization, and now that's 17,000 plus strong. And believe me, there are people watching right now. There are councilmen watching right now. There are mayors watching right now.
Well, we got some. Apparently, we got some city council people, or at least one city council member, a little upset with us with our proposed our little sharing of what we kind of deemed was the Columbus logo, and it kind of got changed around a little bit. And we changed the C in Columbus, COLL to KILL, and
Columbus. We're not the first one to do that.
and basically, the people on the page pretty much know what it looked like, and it upset some people. Well, we came up with another logo today to kind of represent over the weekend.
I didn't look at that one yet.
Yeah, well, it's basically a chalk outline of crime scene and some tape, and
And a little sign says "Welcome to Columbus."
and we do awesome. We be awesome.
The thing is also, does everybody out there know that new logo, which
Actually,
is basically for the city of Columbus one, which is just a white board with the word Columbus on it, with some colored bricks at the bottom of it, that we paid a consulting firm $95,000.
I heard 97.
97.
Maybe that was for the colored
for the
crayons or whatever. But
almost $100,000.
I said awesome. It was actually amazing. Amazing. We do amazing.
I like that,
Yeah.
Sandy. Time to drain the swamp. I love that. Absolutely. Because, $100,000, $97,000. I mean, we're sitting here and we can't even pay our law enforcement, our public safety a decent salary. We can't get equipment.
Somebody said today that $97,000 would have gone a long way to providing lunches for all the kids in Muskogee County that have a hard time, their parents have a hard time paying for lunches and feeding them at lunchtime or breakfast. I don't know, I still say that we could come back, and the corporations in this area, there's got to be a way a program could be set up that they could kick in a little bit of charity money into something where they could go into a lunch program to feed all the kids in Muskogee County. You can't tell me that it couldn't happen. With companies like Aflac and Total Systems and Synovus and Pratt Whitney and all these other businesses, that they couldn't all get together, all those smart people that know how to get grant money or whatever and come up with stuff, that you couldn't come up with a program to feed the younger kids and the high school kids in our area. You just tell me you couldn't. There's no way, But anyway, it is what it is. But one thing I didn't get to ask the gentleman that was calling us, you said his name was Charlie?
Mr. Charlie Roberts.
Mr. Charlie Roberts. Was I'm bringing this up again because I saw it again on over on our sister page, not our sister page, our cousin's page over there in the Concerned Columbus, Georgia page. It was brought up that, this gentleman has some property that he's trying to upkeep. He's trying to keep his property up to standard and keeping it, livable and nice so people want to rent. But, all around his properties and stuff are these slums and these dilapidated housing that people are either squatting in or nobody wants to live in. Nobody would, in their right mind, would pay rent to live in some of these falling in houses and stuff. And we talked about it, I guess, last week. Why isn't there's got to be an agency within the city of Columbus that are supposed to go out and inspect those properties.
Code enforcement.
And if they're not up to standards, then either have them torn down or fine the people that own them or do something. But do not allow these neighborhoods to turn into basically something that looks like something out of the green zone that's been bombed out, or Beirut. If you've ever been to Beirut and look at the neighborhoods, or over there in Iraq, some of those neighborhoods, that's what some of these neighborhoods actually look like when you drive up in them.
Eric, one thing too, getting back to that $97,000 again, Marshall Countryman, we all talk about what people can do. Marshall Countryman has a program called the Junior Marshals Program. And it's in the elementaries and in, I believe, in the middle schools. And, he has a nationally award-winning marshal's office. He has the smallest budget of any law enforcement agency in Muskogee County, in Columbus, and does more with it. I have been an advocate. What we know in the gang problem that the vast majority of gang members are high school age, into middle school, high school age, and I have talked to Marshall Countryman, and I have said, why can't we bring the junior marshals program into the high schools on that? And the answer is, of course, is money. Now I think maybe Marshall Countryman can put a note on here. I think that the crime prevention grants that went out, I think he got 20,000 or something, some amount of money. I'm not sure. Yes, we do, Sandy. And wonder what he could have done with $97,000. What we could have done with $97,000 on the watch. We operate everybody free on that with volunteers on that. But give Marshall Countryman $97,000 and for the junior marshal program. And you know what? Maybe we won't have 12-year-olds being arrested as gang members. Maybe we won't have the schools. If you go to one of the high schools where they've got 700 or 800, 900 kids in the school on that, what's happening, these kids are coming, they're checking in the morning. I'm not blaming the school district. They have a role in it, but I'm not blaming them completely. But they're leaving the school and they're going out. Right now, our burglaries are mostly Monday through Friday. They're mostly in the morning. And these kids and young people are going out and committing home invasions and burglaries, and then they're going back to school and stashing this stuff over there. And that's the kind of stuff that goes on. Marshall Countryman has a award-winning program for youth that's been very, very successful. But yet, there's a little trickle of money. And, I'm not going to go into the agencies that did get money that got a lot more than him. Thank you. He said funding has been cut from $20,000 to $10,000 for 130 kids. This is Marshall Countryman. He's on here right now. He says funding has been cut from $20,000 to $10,000 for 130 kids. We need funding to keep our program going strong. They cut them. We're in the middle of a crime wave, and they cut the Marshals program in half from $20,000 to $10,000. That is absurd. Get your head out of where the sun doesn't shine.
Well, Joe, some of those programs, like midnight underwater basketball and.
Listen, I'm a big supporter of the Springer. God, I love the Springer. Right. I do, but does the Spring doing concerts or plays to fifth graders? Maybe for the future. Right now, we're in a war out there.
Well, I mean, by all means, we should be reading books to kids and stuff, but we need to spend some money on some stuff that, in the short term, can show positive results. And I'll say it again.
Junior Marshal program, Lord. Junior Marshal program.
Okay. Well, those are the kids that you're trying to get their attention and keep them from going down the wrong path. But you cannot. There's no one that can argue that training the citizens in our community on how to recognize crime and how to react to it and how to alert the police to it and to provide the information that law enforcement needs to get out there and make a difference. You can't go wrong. It's money that would be so well spent, and it doesn't take a huge budget. We're doing it right now for free, and I'm telling you folks, people are seeing some of these cars in their neighborhoods, cars from Columbus that are being spotted over here and chased in Columbus or have been spotted 2-3 weeks ago over in Alabama, hanging out and up to stuff, and people noticed them, and they've been noticed so much that now it's the gold Crown Vic. Oh yeah, the gold Crown. It's the white SUV. It's this vehicle. It's that vehicle. They pretty much, people started talking about the white Charger that was pulling over people and trying to pretend to be a police officer. Since that information has come out and law enforcement, Jay Jones and everybody over Lee County has talked about it. Opelika has talked about it. You haven't heard another instance where anybody's been stopped or pulled over, have you? Right? Because once the information got out there, everybody was schooled up on it and they knew it was a fake cop. And guess what? It stopped. And if we all work together, I'm telling you, one neighborhood at a time, one area at a time, we can start cleaning up, but it's going to take everybody to do it. And, just wishing it's going to happen is not going to make it happen.
No, we've got to be proactive. We've got to get a plan. We can't keep just sitting around and saying, oh, well, this is getting worse and getting worse. We've got to be proactive. Programs like, the Junior Marshal program like educating the citizens. I know there's theoretically out there some other neighborhood watch programs and stuff like that, but, I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying I think we need to, thank you, Marshall Countryman, we need to revamp and revitalize. You know, and we've got to get realistic. Okay, we've got to get realistic, Chattahoochee Valley. You know, a few weeks back, we had some dirtbag running around in our neighborhood that did live there, and I put out a warning to everybody, just saying, hey, be on the watch. This guy is walking around the neighborhood. He doesn't live here. I already talked to him, and he looks suspicious. And I got 5 or 6 people saying, oh, why are you jumping on that poor guy? You know, so just because he looks poor, yes, I was, because he looked like he shouldn't be there. And because he was walking around in a pair of shorts and a T-shirt with no phone, with no shoes on, and when I walked up to him, he ran behind a house. That's suspicious behavior. Get real, people. You know, this is not an encounter group. We've got to have real action and real effort.
Laura Morris is asking how can people help, and the biggest thing you can do is, people, if you're listening to this, if you hear it today, tomorrow, you hear it next week, you watch this next week or whatever, stop being silent about this stuff. Start picking up your phone, and wherever you're, whatever jurisdiction or area you're in, I can't tell you how many times this week that people from the Tanglewood area, I'm hearing over there, Tanglewood and that area over there across from the airport, aside from the I'm not going to go into the coyote thing, but a number of people have said, yeah, doors kicked in this week, 3, 4, I've heard about 5 or 6. There's the video that was out yesterday of the guy going through the house, and you can see him, looks like he's carrying a little Taurus pistol. To me, it looked like a Taurus. He's armed. He's armed and in somebody's house. He kicked in a door and went in armed. I've said it. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. There's 2 kinds of people. There's the people that have been victims of crime and they know what it feels like, and there's the people that haven't, but your time's coming. All right, they're not going to keep coming back to the same one house and break into that 100 times. All right, they're going to hit one house here, and then they're coming over here, and then they're coming over here. Eventually, in the last 4 years that I've seen this, it's happened all over the place. Okay, no, it's not in one central location, of course, but you people in Green Island Hills, you people in Rock Island, you're not safe. Okay, just because you got the big bucks. People have seen it over there. There's been home invasions over there. There's been cars stolen. People have had guns shoved in their face. People going out to eat at restaurants have gotten out of their car and had guns shoved in their face and been robbed. And
also too, Laura, it's a great question. How can we help?
Well, let me stop being silent about it and start speaking out. Start and let your neighbors know. Talk to your neighbors. Talk to the people at church. We need help. Joe can't do it all by himself. I can't do it all by myself. Miss Pat, Joe, and I can't all do it by ourselves. It's going to take more than the people on the watch page. It's going to take more than people on another page. It's going to take everybody saying enough is enough, and let's get, if we have to take it one neighborhood at a time, on one neighborhood over in Alabama, one neighborhood over here, and start focusing on it. And figure out who the players are and start reporting stuff. Start writing stuff down. If you've got suspicious vehicles in your neighborhood, get a notebook out. Get what information you can. I'm not saying run out and try and get a picture of the people. A license tag, description of a car, what was going on, what you thought was going on. And then if you think there was really a crime going on, if you think there was really something suspicious, call it in and start keeping information. We've got tons of information on stuff, pictures and stuff.
Absolutely, and and to Laura, like I said, speak out. If you're in Muscogee County, call your councilman. Call the mayor. If you're in the outlying counties or in Alabama, thank you, Sandy. And call your commissioners and tell them that. Say I've had enough. I will vote for Bozo the Clown before I will vote for you. I will go to the polls to vote against you.
Well, I think, wait a minute, Joe. I think Bozo, there's a picture out.
Oh, I think
Bozo has already been elected, so we need to find somebody else, all right?
Okay. All right, not Bozo.
Yeah, Bozo was already elected.
That's what you got to do. You got because that's what they're in there. We got people that have been in office 20 and 30 years. 20, 30 years. Question. Do you all know that in the 1980s, since the 1980s, we've been 100 officers short? Why? Why is that? Why has it taken 30 years and that's not been fixed? It's not because of the police. It's because of administration. And we just got to tell these people, look, hey, if the kitchen's too hot, then get out. That either fix this or go. I've told the council, the commissioners of the counties, the mayors, get people in there in your office and stuff and say, look, you fix this or I'll fire you and I'll hire somebody else.
Yeah.
That's reality.
I mean, like right now, Lori asked what you could do. People out there listening to the live broadcast right now, I think there's an option. You could share this broadcast with people on your Facebook, your personal friends.
Yeah,
you could share it out there, and they can see what we're talking about. They could probably come back to you and go, what is that crazy show you just showed with us? What was that? And you can tell them what it is. The people that are buying the T-shirts. Miss Stacy is out there, been real busy selling T-shirts here lately. Wear the T-shirt out in public. And every time I wear a T-shirt out, somebody's either, ooh, I like those colors, or what is that? What is the watch? What's up with that? So for every T-shirt that's out there on the street, we're gaining people.
Absolutely.
Every night we're gaining people just by word of mouth.
The best thing that I think everybody can do is start talking about it. That's the way it starts. You talk about it, then you do something about it.
Because you know what, right now, you know how things have changed, everybody out there? If you continue if you'll share this show out there and share this, do you know that Eric and I, we're having these politicians calling us now. We used to call them. Now they're calling us and going, oh, I want to come up. And I'm not talking about Mr. Roberts, but I'm talking about people that are saying, oh, yeah. And you know what? And I'll tell you something. I want to give a kudo right now to Eric over here, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm being serious here.
Was one of those little snack bars?
Yes, it's delicious.
Okay.
On that. No, a special thanks to him, and I'll tell you why. Because we were talking earlier about this thing when he put we put the banner up saying "Kill Columbus." And you know what? It's funny. That's how far we had to go to get council people to make a statement about that. And that's what it was. Wow. We finally got somebody on the council to say, I don't like this. We need to go. Well, great. At least we're talking now. At least we're saying we've got something going on here, and maybe you have a difference of opinion, or at least we're not ignoring it. So if that's what we have to do, we have to go down there with big signs on our head saying, I don't want to be a victim, and I've had enough of this. On that, that's what we're going to have to do. And social media is wonderful. We had, I think last week, we had about 12 or 1,300 views of this program. I'd like to see 17,000 views.
Yeah. Eventually we're going to figure out, we're going to break this Facebook code, because apparently, after talking to some people, we do the live feed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the live feed is going out to all 17,000 people.
Yeah.
So apparently Facebook has got some parameters, and they like to squeeze, and I'm not going to go in and make a big deal about it or anything. I'm trying to take your time and explain this. But basically, Facebook is kind of holding the group down a little bit to an extent so that we pay, basically, to have the group boosted or whatever, or let it get out to more people.
And that's what we're having to do.
Well, we can take it slow, and we can just keep going word of mouth and stuff.
Well, we want to have, we're on once a week. We'd like to be on a couple times a week.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that word of mouth, and that you people out there can help spread the word. That you can tell people how to find us on Facebook. Look for the watch. You can add your friends. We ask that you add the law-abiding citizens first. We're not quite desperate that we need the criminals on the page. And there'll be the practical jokers, there'll be the trolls, there'll be all that stuff. Look, folks, it's Facebook, okay? It's social media. Don't let anybody on social media rain on your parade and get you all upset, It's social media. If things get out of hand on the page or whatever, eventually one of the admins will show somebody to the door or ask them to be civil or something. Maybe some people didn't get home training when they were growing up. But we're doing the best we can. No one gets paid for doing what we're doing. So we don't have a full-time 24-hour, Google or Facebook staff that's, behind a computer. We do have to sleep. By and large, it's going pretty good. There's some hurt feelings every now and then, but hey, like I said, it's Facebook. Get over it. There's bigger issues in the world, but I think we're doing great things. We're shaking it up a little bit, and if people are getting a little offended or whatever, I think the word is, they get offended.
You know what my goal is? My goal out there is for the mainstream community in the Chattahoochee Valley, and I think they're doing this, a lot of them already, is to say, hey, you want the accurate information? You want to know what's going on? Check the watch.
Yeah. Well, the other night, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm between, I don't know if I was flipping back between Fox News and a movie and waiting for the 11 o'clock news or something to come on. I can't remember, but I got a private message from, we'll just call her Miss Brooke from Lee County, asking me what was going on out on Lee Road 240, so we flipped on the old scanner, and
good point, Stephen.
Real quick, we found out that the State Patrol was in a high-speed chase going one direction, and then they decided, to turn around and go back the other direction. But the bottom line was that a lot of citizens out there had their ears on, had their eyes open, and we got all the details, I
want to bring Stephen just brought up a very good point, and just that if we could get 10% of our membership. I'm going to tell you something. I've been a professional political advisor for about 30 years, and I can tell you, Stephen, how right you are. If we got 1,700, that's 10% of our membership, 1,700 people that would come together, we could dominate any and all political office in the Chattahoochee Valley. On that,
yeah.
That's it. 1,700.
Have you been secretly messaging Stephen?
I have been.
Okay, because he's absolutely correct.
He's absolutely correct.
Boy, I tell you what, I wish we could sell 1,700 T-shirts.
If we could sell,
we'd have a budget then.
Everybody else, that's what we're trying to do. We don't get gas money or anything like. We're here at the only reason we're even able to be on and have the power of the building we have is because of Paul Voorhees, Chaplain Paul Voorhees, of the goodness of his heart and ministry. Yep. But we're the whole idea with this, the shirt, the watcher, is which we had to get somebody to fund for us to do that, is to sell these so that we can get a budget, so we can go out there and I want to see people, Eric out there with his with a watch van that goes out there with cameras and goes out there to the scene. Well, we have journalistic credentials. The watch falls under is a connection and a
we actually fall under a 501c, right?
Under 501c. So and under that we've registered as journalists.
I mean, if we could get some people together and we get some training together, some people and some training together, there's no reason why we couldn't go out and cover some of this stuff night and day. If there's interested people.
Sandy, something we should plan, and this is something we should plan, Eric. Do you know what? Even if 10 of us would wear these shirts and show up at a council meeting or a commissioners meeting, it would shake them up.
Yeah.
It would shake them up.
I don't want to upset the Queen Mother's little tummy or whatever, but anyway. On another note, I got some really good comments. I appreciate the private messages and stuff on the pumpkin video. Yeah, that was just something we threw together. It just turns out that I just happened to be rolling out the other week, and
who is that?
I guess it's Miss Stacy telling me I need to shut up.
Miss Stacy is calling here. I'll go ahead.
You go ahead and take over. Yes, ma'am.
Just a second. But you do know Sandy's saying that Stacy and her have already talked about going on going out one weekend. We need to do that.
Is it earth-shattering?
If we would show up, can you imagine that there's been a couple of these crime forums going on out there in Constance County. If even 50 of us would show up wearing a T-shirt, we'll bring the T-shirts. Your phone 706-940-0541. 706-940-0541. That's our phone number. I'm going to write it up here, Laura. But if we went to these crime forums with 50 of us wearing these shirts, let me tell you something. That would, let me tell you something. I've been doing this
Well,
for a
let
long time.
me say something about these meetings.
Go ahead.
These crime forum meetings, they're great. We do need to discuss them, but folks, we need to get out and actually do something. Okay, meetings are great, and we can talk about stuff till we're blue in the face, but we have got to start organizing. And if it's neighborhood by neighborhood, that's what we used to do. You know, when I was with the other group, we'd go out and we'd hold the meetings. So we can still do that. If you want a meeting in your neighborhood, of course, some people think that, you know, the Pope has to come bless you and, you know, say a mass or something before you can work as a community or work as citizens together.
I can get that taken care
But, okay. But anyway, we can start doing that again. The pumpkin shoot was
of.
nothing.
Hey, Stacy.
Stacy, I can't believe she's awake. You know, if Stacy appears in sunlight for too long, she burns up. No, I'm just kidding.
Stacy.
Anyway, she called because apparently there's some people out there that want a few T-shirts. So we do have the T-shirts. We have everything from 3X on down. So if you're interested in a T-shirt, we will get you a T-shirt.
We are working right now with Marshall Countryman of getting a free handgun safety course weekend shoot set up. That's going to be done at the Marshall's Range. And he does ask that you bring your own ammunition, but if you can't, we will supply it for you.
Yeah. Well, tell him that I'll bring some pumpkins. We can shoot some pumpkins.
And we're getting with Marshall Countryman on that. And we're going to start having some regular, after January, we're going to start having some regular safety court classes here at the ministry office.
Okay.
Actually, on that, maybe like once a month on that. And
We can do that.
And we're going to do this. All right, so Laura got her T-shirt. That's right. And you know, we are making a difference.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you we're making a difference. I believe, and Eric and I have discussed this, I believe that it's through your efforts out there. It's through you posting on the watch and supporting this show and things like that is the reason we have this influx of activity by law enforcement here in the last month or two, where all these arrests were made and all these kind of things like that. Because
I would say it's an odd coincidence.
Hello, George. On that, it would be an odd coincidence.
George, how you doing, George? You are killing me with some of the memes and the pictures you're coming up. You were starting to really, some of them are hilarious. And for that gentleman, I don't have to tell you this. The one picture. Well, there was several different variations of the Columbus logo. But the one with the Columbus, we bust caps, I did not do that. I have to admit that. I did not do that one. I stole that one. But that was hilarious.
I just thought something very important. Everybody listen out there. You can go on eBay, and put Chaplain Paul Voorhees Ministries or The Watch in there, either one of those. The Watch in Columbus, Georgia, and the T-shirts are there. You can actually order a T-shirt, pay for it, and we'll send it to you on there. You can go to cpvm at yahoo.com, cpvm at yahoo.com. You can ask for a shirt there. We can hook you up there. You can text message me, Joe Coley on my Facebook, Pat Coley on hers, Eric Woodson on his, on that, and we'll hook you up with a shirt. We can meet you. We're going to start doing very soon, within the next 30 days, we're going to start doing some weekend sales here on the. We're here, like on a Saturday. We did that once, but we're going to start doing a little bit more. We're about to. You have to get a sign out front. We're going to be doing some stuff at the Lee County Flea Market. We're actually going to be starting a little store here at the ministry office that we're going to start doing stuff. This is the media center we're at right now and stuff. But I really want to get Eric and Sandy and Stacy and people like that. I want to get people out there out on the street that can go out there in a safe manner and report this stuff. They're doing it now.
Well, we got we get there is so much information that we get that, names of people never get out there. But we get stuff from, volunteers. We get stuff from fire people, law enforcement people send us some stuff. The citizens send us some stuff, like the chase the other night. We got a heads up from a lady that lived down there in that area. She heard the sirens. She said, "Hey, what's up?" That's all it takes. All we have to do is start looking into it. Now, granted, some of the stuff like, we need more people in Phoenix City and Russell County
Will do,
to
Sandy.
cooperate with us and join the page, because Phoenix City and Russell County now have an encrypted radio system, so we can't really hear what's going on the scanners anymore. We can't. And I mean, and even if we spent $50,000, we still wouldn't be able to hear it. Okay. Once that stuff's encrypted, it's encrypted. So what they can't encrypt is what the eyewitnesses see. So if you happen to be at a place down in Phoenix City down there off of Opelika Road, and you happen to own a tattoo parlor or something, you see a lot of stuff that goes flashing by your business. That's the kind of stuff that somebody can post about.
And what we're saying out there to everybody out there is, you know what? We live in, all of us in America, and in Georgia, in Muscogee County, Russell County, Lee County, all the counties, we live in fear. We outnumber the bad people out there many, many, many times to one on there. We've got to stand together. Together we're strong, and together we don't have to be afraid. I know where I live in my neighborhood, we've gotten to the point where we know everybody on our street. And Miss Pat will tell you right there, if we come home at 10 o'clock at night and we look over and we see, this won't tell anybody's name or where, Miss Diane's, her garage door open, we stop.
That's at 123 Hauser Street?
123 Hauser Street, yes, that's it. But we stop. We call her. We say, Miss Diane, is everything okay? Or if we go there, if we hear something outside, we go out there. When our neighbors go on away for the weekend or on vacation or gone for an evening, we tell each other. And we say, hey brother, hey sister, we're going to be gone for the weekend. No people should be in our house. No cars should be in our driveway. And we watch out for each other. When FedEx is coming and we're not going to be there, we call each other and we say, hey, would you get that FedEx package off of my stoop up there? Yes. We watch. When somebody is walking down the street that we know doesn't live in our neighborhood, that looks suspicious, we let each other know. We don't hurt anybody. We don't go out with vigilante groups. We observe and report. United, we're strong. Let's make America great again. Let's make America great again. It's about that time.
It's about that time?
It's about that time.
About that time?
It's about that time.
Okay.
Because we're a little late. We had a wonderful show. We couldn't do this without y'all. This is the main, we could sit here and talk to each other, for hours at a time, but we couldn't do it if you all are not out there supporting us. So thank you for listening to the watch.
Real quick, I believe
Take your time.
there is a Veterans Day parade this weekend.
You know what? Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, my brother. Thank you for your service to our country.
Yeah. But I can't remember if it's on Saturday or Sunday.
And thank you to all of our veterans.
Does anybody know when the Veterans Day parade is that goes from Phoenix City over back around?
I do believe it's on Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
It's on Saturday.
So if you can, get down to support the parade. Say thank you to, you'll see some veterans in the parade. You'll see a bunch of cars. You'll see a bunch of politicians that are coming out to shine you on for votes and stuff. But support those veterans. Tell them thank you. They really do appreciate it, especially the older veterans from World War II and Korea that are still, with us. Vietnam, Korea, and some of us younger guys, they're still getting around. And say hi to some of those politicians that you might see in the parade down there, especially the mayor. If you see the mayor of Columbus, make sure you wave and say, bye, Teresa.
Absolutely. So I'm going to say thank you again to everybody. Thank you to Eric. Thank you, Ms. Pat. Thank you to Chaplain Paul Voorhees.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you.
Miss Elaine. Don't leave out Miss Elaine.
Miss Stacy. Thank you to all of our brothers and sisters out there. And God bless you. God bless Eric. God bless our country. And we will be back again very soon. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And this is saying thank you to you. We'll see you next week.
I think I've heard this song before somewhere.
God bless. Miss Pat, take us out. Yeah. Thank you all on YouTube land.
513 views.